Hi everyone, how's it going? You may know that a couple of weeks ago I have cleared out my makeup collection. I did spring cleaning. I did a whole video about it showing you how I got that done. I'll link it up here in video and also down below in the information bar if you want to check that out and you missed out on it. But pretty much I went through almost every single piece of makeup in my collection and I evaluated it based on how often I used it. Do I love the formulation? Does the color work for me? And am I actually going to use it in the near future? If it wasn't, it was gone. So I had everything in this big box and I was just going to do divide and conquer and split them into things I can donate, things I can pass on to family and friends, and things that are expired that just need to go, just buy. However, I thought, well, some of these things I actually have not talked to you guys about before at all. So perhaps you want to see exactly what I'm getting rid of, some of the items and exactly why I don't like them or they didn't work out for me. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. So, a whole bunch of things here. I'm just gonna pull out and talk about them. Not all of these are exactly bad products for everyone, but a lot of them just didn't work out for me. But this one was just all over disappointing. This one is from NYX. A lot of their products are great as a drugstore brand, but there are some misses. And there are some misses when it comes to things that come in palettes. A lot of brands, I feel like they may do their singles really well, and then once they go to a palette, sometimes maybe they're not using the same formulation, or I don't know what's going on. But this palette was certainly a miss for me. This is the NYX Dreamcatchers palette. I believe this was limited edition. In the color Stormy Skies, it seems like. This looks to be a baked type of product because it has that dome shape. I'm not 100% sure. But my issue with this is not the coloring, but the texture. It was very chalky. Color payoff was poor. I couldn't get it to blend smoothly and properly over my lids. I've used other NYX shadows before. They're not all like this. The trios are great. A lot of the singles are great. This palette was just terrible in my opinion. Did not live up to the rest of the NYX products, and they're great names. So this one had to go from NYX Cosmetics. Then I have here these cleansing wipes from PACIFICA. As a whole, I think PACIFICA is a pretty neat brand. They make some great natural perfumes that I really enjoy, but these wipes were just bad. This is the Purify Coconut Water Cleansing Wipes. They have a papaya extract in here as an exfoliate. It's got some aloe vera, calendula as well for soothing the skin. But my major issue with this is that it dried out so fast. It even has a plastic lid cover to keep it moist. Well, that did not work. It wasn't a very moist towelette. But, even with that being said, it did not last at all. I didn't find it was very good at taking off my facial makeup, not including mascara. I never do it with the cleansing towels, but just regular foundation and blush. Didn't do well in that front, and it dried out so quickly. I still have a couple sheets left in here, but they are now completely dry, and I do lock it down every single time I use it. Just doesn't work. Not a good one in my opinion. Okay, these guys. Wow, the Ardelle Duralash in Flare Short Brown. So, backstory. When people tell you if you're first starting to use false lashes, do the itty bitty clusters and single lash, the single lashes, so they're easier to apply. You can fill out your your sparse spots. If you're someone who has naturally sparse lash line, if you have lashes that grow straight down and the only way that you're keeping them curled is by curling them with a lash curler and some waterproof mascara, this is a bad idea. Number one, a lot of these lashes, even if they say short, are too long for you if you have short lashes to begin with, so they will stick out kind of unnaturally among your natural lash line. Number two, these do not curl the same way that you curl your natural lashes with a lash curler, so they look a little bit mismatched. Number three, it's just so much easier to learn and practice and get used to using a strip of false lashes if you do have very sparse and straight lashes to begin with, versus trying to enhance your natural lashes with these little clusters. They just don't work out for me. I think for the average person, it's so much harder to use and get control with these, because once they put them on, they kind of slide sideways, or this eye is going this way, this eye is going this way. It's just so much easier for me, in my opinion, to work with a strip of lashes versus the individual ones. But that's just a little tidbit if you're trying to get into false lashes. Okay, this one, the next one is a bad color match. This is the COVERGIRL True Blend. Isn't that ironic? True Blend was not blending for me. I have this in the color Classic Ivory. I've also tried it in a slightly darker color. But my issue with this is that it looks okay in the bottle, but once I start putting on and buffing it onto my facial skin, the color tone changes. and it becomes quite pink. And compared to my neck, it definitely wasn't matching. I can see it in the mirror. It's not a good shade for me, even though it looks decent in the bottle. And for most drugstore foundations, I wear either a classic ivory or buff beige, you know, something along those lines. However, when I was at a kind of an event with COVERGIRL there, and they used this foundation, I believe, on me, they did mix two very different colors together to get a shade closer to my skin tone. So the idea of just having one single product match your skin, you know, the true blend, isn't necessarily, you know, going to work out for everyone. At least it didn't work out for me. Speaking of colors that don't work, you guys, you know, sometimes you love nail polish and you start collecting the colors that you think look good or that they look good on the bottle, like this one from HANSEN, the Complete Salon Manicure in the shade Without a Stitch. This was a collaboration with a fashion designer, I believe. Love the color in the bottle. Looks terrible on my skin, just not the right nude for me. Sometimes that just happens, and I think you need to let go of the colors that no longer flatter you or just never flatter you in the first place, but you loved it too much to let it go. Give it to someone who, you know, will have better luck with this one. On a slightly better note, I finished this, what is this, eyelash glue from DOLLYWINK. I've been just getting the last bits of it out because I loved it so much, and I have not reordered this yet. I'm trying to look for a good deal for this one. This lash glue is superb, so easy to apply because it has a little applicator, a thin tip wand right here, a little brush actually, and this dries really quickly, and you can actually just pop this onto, you know, your lash line within a couple seconds of applying this glue. You don't need to wait for a long time. Plus, if it pops out, you know, the edges pop out, you can just take this little tidbit, dab it where it needs to be fixed, and just push it right back on there, you know, on your eyes to get it back secured, and you don't need to bust out the whole tube of lash glue and take off the whole strip of false lashes. It's just so much work. I love traveling and carrying this around my purse, but unfortunately completely gone, but I will be looking to buy a new one. Okay, another thing that didn't really work, although I wanted to, was the ANDALOU Naturals 1000 Roses Moisturizing CC Cream with SPF 30. Great in concept, great list of ingredients, pretty smooth formulation, and great color as well. This is more of a tinted moisturizer, but it has that beautiful pale yellow undertone that works really well for me, plus the SPF. My issue, this smelled not bad, but it was so strong that I couldn't get rid of the smell the entire day. It just lingered around. It gave me a headache. I couldn't deal with the scent of it. Again, it was also quite moisturizing, and a bit too moisturizing for my combination skin. If you have very dry skin and you don't mind the scent, go for it. It's a, you know, very affordable product. I think it has some great looking ingredients in here. Again, the color is also beautiful, and SPF 30 if that's what you want. So this one unfortunately was a miss for me as well. And then, let's just keep on going with this color business. The Estee Lauder DayWear BB Cream Multi-Perfecting Beauty Benefit Cream with SPF 35 was a miss. Not because of the formulation. I actually really love the formulation. It's smooth, it's not too greasy, easy to apply, great on combination skin like mine, did not break me out, and has just a slight tint to it. My issue though is that the lightest shade is still too dark for me. I can see in the mirror that it's too dark, and I'm not even someone who's actually very pale to begin with. I'm like a MAC NC20 or NC15 along those lines, but I have the shade in both medium deep, which I received at PR event, was too dark. Went for another color called 1.5, light to medium, which I believe is the lightest one they make, 1.5, still too dark. Come on, Estee Lauder, great product. Just widen the color spectrum a little bit, give us a little bit of a lighter shade and give us some darker shades, and everybody will be happy. I really think this is a great formulation, a great product, just terrible color match, and wasn't really working for someone who was on the lighter end of the color spectrum, unfortunately. Okay, also in here, something that just was a bad consistency and smelled really strong, so I had to get rid of it. I tried to love it. I kept this around for so long, thinking I would get back into it. I just couldn't. The colors are actually quite beautiful. These are the MILANI lipsticks in the shade Naturally Chic and Nude Cream or Nude Creme. But my issue again is that they have this very traditional beeswaxy, almost slightly plastic feel to them that I don't love. I think drugstore lipsticks have come such a long way that we could make this into a more beautiful creamy formulation. As well, I can smell it right here from this distance. It has a very strong, almost sugary watermelon scent. If you're not into that, pass on these. These are very strong in the scent department. I think they don't need to be. I think the formulation could be improved so that they're a little bit more creamier instead of feeling so plastic. Color selection is beautiful, but just the formulation and the scent wasn't working out for me, so those had to go. Alright, next then. Something that, again, I think is great in terms of the color selection and the beautiful color saturation. These are the Rimmel Apocalypse lip lacquers. Many people loved them when they first came out, you know, on the market. Like, these are full-on lip colors. My issue with these is that they don't set on your lips at all. They will transfer anywhere and everywhere. If you touch anything, if you just accidentally swipe yourself, you're going to get just lipstick everywhere. Very creamy and smooth formulation, just wasn't working out in terms of its long-lasting ability. In fact, it has next to none long-lasting ability, because as soon as you touch something, this starts coming off and it bleeds a little bit around the lip line. I have reviewed this in full over on my blog. Check it out through the link down below in the information bar. But yeah, not a good one. The Rimmel Provocalypse, the two-step lip color, which I currently have not reviewed yet, are excellent. Go for those ones. Skip on these ones. I think you'll be much happier that way. Okay, I guess the last couple of products. Let's talk about this. The MUA Makeup Academy eyeshadow palette in Heaven and Earth. Very affordable, brand from the UK, MUA. They do make some very, you know, user-friendly products and incredibly affordable. All the colors are very beautiful. Most of them have a creamy type of powdery finish. My issue is that, number one, they really don't last on my eyes very long. They start shifting, they start creasing, not long lasting. Number two, not all the colors have enough of a differentiation to warrant to having the whole palette. Even though they may look different in the pan, some of them come off on the eyes very similar, if not exactly the same. Number three, this is not a formulation that you can build up. If you start building up the colors or start blending them, number one, it gets a bit messy, or actually 1.5, it gets kind of messy. And also number two, I guess, you know, it's just, you can't layer multiple layers of this product. It just starts looking very dusty and looking like you have a lot of just product on your skin, which is never really a good look in my opinion. So for starting, if this is your first nude palette, by all means give it a try. In the long run, if you have kind of access to other products out there, you know, you can't afford to spend a little bit more, you're better off with another palette altogether. This one was a kind of a miss for me. It was a hit for a couple of weeks, couple months even, and then eventually I just fell out of love with it, and I had better things to use in my collection. I guess this wraps up the video. We'll just call it quits for now. I'm going to do some cleanup with these guys, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. So until next time, take great care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Drop me a comment. Bye.